say, you were out there impressing some MILFs.
Welcome to Snap Tackle Talk.
Yeah, you're like flexing your bicep.
The milk impressor. You heard it here first.
Hey, change your header down there. MILF impressor.
Oh, so welcome back to Snap Tackle and Talk. Such a great episode. We were off to a great start. We were here 1 minute early, and then all hell broke loose. So it's just determined we're 1 minute late, as per usual. So welcome to Snap Tackle and Talk, a football podcast that is better than some, worse than others. Tonight we are breaking down the NFC East, and we're armed with trivia that'll stump even the sharpest fans, takes hotter than a Texas tailgate, and breakdowns that'll make you the envy of your fantasy league. So as the great Dwight Schrute once said on The Office, whenever I'm in doubt to do something, I think what an idiot would do. And if they would, I do not do that thing. Well, folks, tuning into this show, definitely not an idiot move. Pure genius.
Break it down, they're calling the play. Good or wrong debates, keep the night from the day. Some rise, some fall, on the charts they fall. But we'll keep tuning in to Snap, Tackle, and Talk.
Nice. Love how the arms completely disappear. You look like... Oh, what you got there, John?
Oh, no, I like to love on the trophy every once in a while. Just let it know it's safe here
rub.
with me.
Give it a little rub. So, again, before we get started here, make sure that you're hitting that smash button. I just did that to my camera. It's supposed to work with hand gestures. It's not quite doing it. So,
the TikTok shot version, right?
Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Join us here on Snap, Tackle, and Talk every Tuesday at 9:30. Make sure you join our YouTube channel, our Facebook group, all the links and everything below. Be looking out for our official website, snaptackletalk.com. Should be up by this time next week. We should have the frame of the website up and ready to go. So you can go there, get all your merch, check out all the cool happenings around football, and follow us on X at Snap Tackle Talk. Made our debut there today. Gentlemen,
what's up, X?
The dynamic duo joining me tonight, John Reed, Colin Arter, Captain Houday. How's your week been?
John, I'll take the lead here. Man, it's okay. We lost in softball Monday. You saw the action photos. Pretty good looking of Captain Houday. I think we're trying to get those on the show next week, so you can pop those up.
We will definitely get them up on the website.
That's right. And secondly, man, we had kickball tonight. I didn't realize I missed 2 weeks of kickball this year already, but I did.
Dang.
I was in California the first week. Wasn't here last week. I gotta be honest. I shouldn't have shown up this week. It was bad. It was real bad. But I went to the Renaissance Fair last week. Had a heck of a time. I 1v1 dueled a brigand. Now he bettered me, but saved a couple damsels in distress and had my fair share of ale and turkey legs, and got to watch Yield joust. So overall, it was a pretty good time of things out there.
You know, I've never actually been to one of those Renaissance fairs, but I'll tell you, the turkey legs look superb. I would love me a turkey leg. But my week was less exciting this time around. I did a lot of on-call for work this weekend, so I didn't have many plans or many interesting things happen. So, just a slow week for the old John.
Not a whole lot to speak of here. I had a really good weekend. Good week at work so far. Good end of week last week. Did get to do some really cool things over the weekend. Hung out with the family, which is always nice. Got stuff around the house done, all that fun jazz. But we did go see Superman on Sunday. And not being a big fan of Superman, I really enjoyed the movie. It was really good. So stay tuned. I think we're going to do something with Aged and Geek and talk about some Superman Superman stuff very, very soon. But gentlemen, speaking of who has been busy, that's been the NFL. I have some of the top news stories from over the last 2 weeks. So number one, I think the biggest story in football right now, TJ Watt got a record-breaking deal. We haven't got a chance to talk about this. Pittsburgh paid up in 3 years for $123 million, making him the highest-paid non-quarterback in NFL history. Seeing that you two are in the division with TJ Watt and have to look at him a couple times throughout the year, what do y'all think?
Well, speaking of watching Superman, holy overpaid Batman.
I mean, I think I get where you're going, Colin. He's injury prone. He's getting older, but he has earned the money. He's been very productive. Even, I mean, a down year for him last year was a really good year for most other, rushers, But the thing that actually, Colin, if you want to touch on this, I'll circle back around because I don't want to break off from this conversation yet. If you have thoughts on it.
On the signing?
Yeah, do you have
extreme overpay. TJ Watt was not the league's leading pass rusher last year. It was yours truly. TJ Watt is injury prone. TJ Watt was getting stuffed by rookie tackles last year. TJ Watt is not the player he used to be. On top of that, and not to get off topics, I mean, you might have gone, in my opinion, and not just my opinion, in general, TJ Watt is an incredibly dirty football player. So I don't think you're in a penny of that. TJ Watt plays football incredibly dirty, and that's not John, you can't think any differently, and Dwight, you can't think any differently. He's a dirty football player.
Didn't say that.
I'll tell you what, if TJ Watt played for the Bengals, he would have been Vontez perfected. Okay?
I don't know if he's that bad.
He is that bad.
Perfect was rough.
Only against you guys.
No. He was dirty.
No, but to answer your question, John, my thoughts are it's an extreme overpay. They're paying a guy on the twilight of his career a first free agent contract money. And you're saying he earned it, but it's a what have I done for you lately league? And the answer is TJ Watt has not been as productive as he used to be. Maybe the Steelers just had some extra money to throw around. I don't know. But
it depends on how you look at it. Yeah, he had a down year last year. He did. But you got to look at it this way, too. That defense doesn't run without him. We've seen what it looks like when he's injured. He's out. It's night and day difference. So, I mean, if you look at it from those terms, and plus, I mean, yeah, so what have you done for me lately, league? But he has done a hell of a lot for that organization, which leads me to my side point about the same player. In your fellas' opinions, is TJ Watt going to be a Hall of Famer?
Sure.
He will be.
Well, let me ask you this. Think about any Hall of Famer that you can pretty much think of. Now think about TJ Watt and the fact that, yes, Red Rocket. Woo! No, but now think about the fact that TJ Watt in his long career, which it's pretty decent length. How many years would you guys say he's been in the league now? Oh, yeah, he's typing. He's going to find out.
Colin, our on-the-scene stats guy.
He's been in the league for 7 going on 8 years, John.
8 years almost. So in 8 years, he hasn't won one playoff game. Can you be a Hall of Famer and never have won a playoff game?
You can when you have 108 sacks in 8 years.
Yeah, you could on the defensive side of the ball, I think, pretty easy.
We're speaking about 5-time All-Pro, 7-time Pro Bowler, 5-time top 5 finish Defensive Player of the Year, and averaging 15.2 sacks a season, TJ Watt.
But you got to think, too, a lot of times you're talking about players, if they're a Hall of Famer or not, and you're saying, well, they never won a Super Bowl. I mean, now think never winning a playoff game. That's crazy.
But if we're talking about if you never won a Super Bowl, aren't we kind of putting that on quarterbacks and running backs only? I mean, the other positions are pretty, there's a lot of wide receivers that have Hall of Fame careers that never sniffed the playoffs, I'm sure. I couldn't name one, but so maybe there's not that many, but
I just
Dwight, do you have any different thoughts on TJ Watt signing?
No, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised to make him the highest paid. I get it. That's what he wanted. He's earned the right to that over his career. He's had an illustrious career. I'm a little more shocked at the time on it. You know,
Yeah.
3 years might be a lot to invest in him. Maybe it's not. I don't know, but
I mean,
this is kind of a one-shot pony. If they don't do it this year and the team blows up, he's stuck on Pittsburgh for 2 more years. And what's that going to look like?
I think too, I mean, you got to think about it this way as well. Like, yeah, maybe he's been down, but I mean, it's always next man up gets the highest paid. And you look at, did Kyler Murray deserve more money than, you know, the guy who got paid before him? Probably not. Patrick Mahomes was paid for him. You know, Josh Allen, I think Kyler Murray's contract went above that, you know, so I don't think that's fair. I mean, I could look at Kyler Murray and say, yeah, I'm not paying you more than these guys. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. You're good, but you're not that good.
Right.
Same with Justin Herbert.
If I'm looking at it this way, Dwight, he is definitely the top 3. I'd say he's probably second most productive pass rusher still in the NFL. And so that puts him in a position where he deserves to be paid. I just think that 4 years is incredibly strong. But I say that as that's, I'm sure, what we're going to end up doing with our guy who's older than TJ Watt.
But I will say, too, like TJ Watt is very good at dropping into coverage. He's good at stopping the run. As good as Trey Hendrickson is, stopping the run is probably his weakness. I mean, you got to
in coverage, TJ Watt allowed an 100% completion percentage last year.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, last year was down here. Last year was not his year.
Sure, yes. Trey Hendrickson is not a run stopper and not able to drop back. He's also not a linebacker, and TJ Watt is.
Yeah.
So I think it's a different type of player, but that's irrelevant. I'm saying for pass rushers in the league, TJ Watt is the second best pass rusher in the league right now as of 2025, and I'm sure he deserves the money. I just think the contract, when you look at 3 years from now, is going to be a poor contract.
Who you say is number 1?
Oh, if I look at numbers, it's Trey Hendrickson. I'm talking about pure pass rush. I'm not talking about stopping the run or coverage. I'm talking about pure pass rush. Trey Hendrickson had 21 sacks last season.
Yeah.
With nobody else on the other side of his line. So I mean that's pretty damn impressive.
It is. I'm not going to take anything away from Hendrickson. I've got some things to say about him later, anyways.
I don't think there's anything to say. This is the NFC East
episode. It's not, well, no, it has to do with other stuff that I'm going to get into.
Let's keep it NFC East friendly.
Yeah, but you also got to think about what's relevant now, too. It may not be relevant when we get to that division.
So let's, speaking of Trey Hendrickson, we got plenty of Bengals dramas. Cincinnati's pass rush king, Trey Hendrickson, officially held out from camp on the 22nd. 17 and a half. Oh, Colin left. Perfect timing. His 17 and a half sacks last year. He's not going to play without guarantees. Okay, Colin, if this deal does, how bad does that derail your Super Bowl hopes? Not your playoff hopes, your Super Bowl hopes.
I think, honestly, it's the same thing.
Yeah, man. No, I think it's really a question. I do think Micah Parsons is going to be really good in the NFC East this year. That's all I got to say about that.
Well, I will tell you, I watched the video of the interview your owner put out. And first of all, he called him Henderson. That's massive disrespect. That's not his name. And 2, he pretty much said that he was being difficult. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But
no.
Yeah, he did.
No. You're saying he said he's an emotional guy. And so it's hard to negotiate with somebody who's emotional because emotions it gets away from business.
That is
what are we doing? Guys, we're here talking about the NFC East. Let's not talk about Trey Hendrickson.
Okay. All right, we'll get into that because in the next 2 weeks, we're going to cover Cincinnati, and that'll be a major part of it. So I agree with that. But it's a big deal right now. The holdout's still there. Speaking of more holdouts, Scary Terry is not reporting to Washington right now. Wants himself a Big Daddy contract. John, I'll open the floor up to you. I know you got some contingency talks on contracts. What do you think about Scary Terry not going back to Washington and going to the highest bidder?
I don't think it's going to happen. I think when you look at last season and how many passes Jaden Daniels threw and how many of them were caught by Scary Terry, you're going to realize very quick that he needs to be a part of this team. Not to mention, you just got Deebo Samuels. And if you lose Scary Terry, Deebo Samuels becomes relatively useless. The thing that makes Deebo dangerous is having Terry on the field. And if you take Terry away, you just wasted your time. You should have went a different direction probably. They can do so much more with both of those receivers out there. And if you want any hope of Daniels taking that next step, you're going to have to give him his weapons back. You can't take a major weapon from him. I think with his weak, and I'm not going to say weak, they're more middle of the pack, but as not high tier as their defense is, that offense has to be very potent.
Colin?
I think that what John said is very accurate, man. I think that Terry McLaurin is such a major part. They can't afford to lose him. There is no team otherwise. I think you need to give first of all, Jaden Daniels had all the time in the world to throw last year. We all know that, right? But on the other side, you have to have weapons to throw to. And the thing that makes a rookie quarterback so good and full of success is growing his strength and growing his belief in himself. And you need two strong wide receivers, or at least one top 10 wide receiver, and that is what Terry McLaurin is. They need him. And so he can't go anywhere. They're going to have to pay up. It's actually very similar, the situation we're in with our defense and Hendrickson. It's you need the guy on the field, so you're going to pay him.
Yeah. Also agree. So some other news surrounding the, for now, the Washington Commanders. So really, that's what you got to talk about now is you got to worry about the damn Redskins name not being the Commanders. I get that the Native American population by 90% love the team being named the Redskins to honor the chief. But come on, is this the way to go about it? And do you think the team even needs to go back to the old name now? What are y'all's thoughts on that?
No comment.
Are we trying to keep a man's name out of this conversation?
We are. We all know who we're talking about.
No comment, dude. This is not.
I respect a lot of things he's done. I'm not a hater, but at the same time, you can't force somebody to do that. I don't know all the details. I've just seen the shit that's popped up on Facebook and stuff like that. But if he's trying to force them or pretty much blackmail them into changing their name back to the Redskins, you can't do that. You've got to allow the franchise or the fans to make decisions like that.
Right.
Almost dictatorial, John.
So let's move off of the reason that this is in the headlines. And let me ask you, is this something that should be done? Should Washington Commanders go back to being the Redskins? Just your personal thought.
I like the Redskins. I didn't have an issue with it. And apparently the Native Americans didn't either. So I don't really know. I think that was just kind of the whole – see, and this is hard. I'm trying not to make this – I think it was just kind of how society is being nowadays.
It was representation of the times because they're not the only sports team to have done so.
Yeah.
But it is, it is a very relevant conversation to have. I would personally love for them to go back to the Redskins. I would also like the Washington Wizards to have always stayed the Washington Bullets. Those team names, the Cleveland Indians, the Indians are one of the 6 original teams. And now they're not the Indians. They should be the Cleveland Indians.
We made Colin leave.
Yeah, no, Colin's going to have our video all kinds of but I don't mind. I like the Commanders name. I like the fact that if you go into Washington, you got people in the stands dressed up like Mando in Redskin colors. I think that's really cool. The Commanders is a great name. Yeah. And it fits with the DC area.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to hurt my feelings either way. I just think to people who have been fans of the NFL for years, there's a certain nostalgic thing to the Redskins. And not to mention, commentators and sports analysts still to this day can't get it right. They still say Redskins all the time. It'll just make life easier.
Right. So
I'm trying to get my camera to focus, and it's not one to focus.
oh yeah, you know what doesn't help that when you're flicking at it.
I think we're just stuck in 240p.
Good.
All right, so moving on to another shocking honey badger hanging up the cleats. You guys got any thoughts? Any soft spot in your heart?
I have no soft on my heart for the honey badger. No.
If he never played for the Chiefs, then maybe. I remember the one time we beat the Chiefs. The first drive, I think it might have been like the first pass Lamar Jackson threw in the first drive of the game. He intercepted Lamar Jackson and pick sixed his ass. I was like, damn.
Oh.
Yeah, we ended up winning that game, but it was still crazy.
Continue. I'm sorry. I was just showing off to it,
But
it just gives you what a state New Orleans football is in.
Yeah.
I mean, they're having people retire left and right. They are on pace. If the offseason's any indication, they are on pace to be the worst team in the NFL by a long shot.
Oh, yeah. I mean, did he have anything going on, or was he just like, I ain't got many years left in me, I'm not going to finish the year?
He looked at the Saints on paper and was like, shit, it's now or never. I'm done.
Now, what he did, he drew inspiration from Darren Waller. He's like, I'm going to go set out a season, then come back when they moved on from me, and then they're just going to trade me.
I mean, the honey badger have been terrible for a few seasons, too. Just remember, it's not like he's in an Aaron Rodgers type situation.
Is he that old, though? I mean, he's not like super old.
No, for Steve, he is. He's like 32.
Well.
All right.
Which is a quarterback in the NFL last he's 33.
Oh, well, yeah, he's getting there.
Came in the league in 2013.
Dang, he's been here longer than I thought.
So anyone else have anything newsworthy to bring up?
Yes, I do actually.
Hey, John, what do you got?
I want to talk about Rashee Rice. And I've got things to say about the future.
Whoa. Why are we doing this, man? You know what? Here, talk.
Because this is relevant now, and I want to say this before a decision is made. Because once the decision is made, it's going to change the conversation. I just don't understand. Maybe y'all can help me see this. I don't know if the NFL has certain rules, regulations, certain things they have to dole out certain punishments for. But first of all, let me say he got off easy. 5 years probation and 30 days in jail. He can choose when he serves them. He doesn't have to do it consecutive.
Can we not go to the comparison point you're going to go to here in like 10 seconds?
Don't worry. I've already thought
I don't think it's a good talking point on this talk show.
I don't know. I think
no, John, I really think it is not.
So how do you pick and choose then?
I agree you shouldn't pick and choose. I just don't think that's the guy to
Well, any guy. I mean, I've seen I'll do it this way. So I've heard everybody say, like at max, they're expecting Rashee Rice to be suspended for 6 games. When I will just say, I won't use names, there's other players who have not admitted to guilt to almost or possibly killing people or himself in this street race he was in. He could have killed people or himself. And then on top of it, he left the scene afterwards. He ran away. So how can 6 games be the max suspension for somebody who did that? There's been players who have taken creatine who's been suspended for 6 games. You know, like, what are we doing here? Should the punishment not be more severe than that? And yeah, Colin, to your point, I'm not going to say names, but if what happened to this other player is true, he should have been suspended way longer. You know what I mean? Like, we can't keep giving these little dilly-dally. The NFL has to have higher priority to letting these players know that their actions off the field is serious. And I just think a 6-game suspension is just a little smack on the hand. I think a young player needs to be taught a lesson when they do reckless things like that. It's ridiculous, and it infuriates me, to be honest.
John, that is why Mike Brown wants that in the contract language for Shamar Stewart. We're circling back.
I actually agree with that. And I actually think he's got leverage as long as Hendrickson is still. That's
the thing. Once Hendrickson shows up, his leverage is gone. But no, John, listen, John, Rashee Rice, standalone case Rashee Rice did something very, very bad. At the same time, Henry Ruggs is going to be allowed to try to make a comeback to football when he's out. There's no lifetime suspension on his part.
Okay.
So I think the NFL is a precedent there. However, from a judicial standpoint, I think it's insane. He's getting 30 days time served within that 5-year period. And because the truth is that you're going to have an absolute animal on the football field. Because all the guy's able to do for 5 years is practice football.
Yeah, and I get it. I don't see how you can choose to give one person who has no proven guilt more time off.
Let's talk about Rashee Rice in a vacuum. Let's talk about Rashee Rice in a vacuum, John, is what I'm trying to do here.
I mean, I get what you're saying. I'm just not shy about it. I don't like. I agree with the punishment. That's not what I'm saying at all. Like, if he did that stuff, he should be punished longer. But I'm saying, how do you come up with the numbers for the punishment? That's what I'm.
Okay, let me give you an example, John. A guy that's not, I don't think, anymore a scandalous. Trevor Bauer, okay, was acquitted of guilt in his situation. They said he did not do it, okay? And yet the MLB won't give him a job. Well, now it's because he sucks. But then they knew before that it wasn't. But it's because it's a PR thing. That's a big part of it. It's a business. It's a PR thing. It's because there's probably stuff that their own investigators have found out that regardless if it goes to trial or not, they probably are like, yeah, this is probably a little. Because if they investigate on their own end and fully believe that there was no guilt on his part, John, they would be sticking up for their player here.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying he wasn't, because I mean that's quite a bit of accusations. And again, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve that punishment. He does. But I don't see how Rashee Rice is just saying, six games. That's probably the max. That's what's not making sense to me. And I'm hating to think this, but it's almost hard not to think it's just because he's on a Super Bowl winning team and they're the darling of the NFL.
That's why I think it is. That's what I was going to get back to on first full circle in a vacuum, John, is they're giving him 6 games. They need him to play because they need Patrick Mahomes to be on TV every given Sunday scoring 30 points.
And that should piss people off.
It does.
It should piss everybody off.
It's very similar to me to the Shohei Ohtani situation, John, with his buddy that was supposedly stealing money from him that he never knew about. Well, I don't know, you have $15 million I'm missing out my account. I know about it. But that's my point is Shohei Ohtani makes MLB $1 billion a year in ticket and merchandise sales. A lot of people are Chiefs fans, and they wouldn't be Chiefs fans if the Chiefs weren't winning. And Patrick Mahomes needs Rashee Rice to catch passes. Patrick Mahomes, especially because Travis Kelce's getting old.
But I mean, that's any team. You got so many bandwagon fans for any team. So any team who starts winning,
sure. But not every team is America's team, just as much as the Cowboys are right now.
You come off the last dynasty being New England, people were ready for someone like the Chiefs to fill that void, and they made a dynasty. That is slightly different than what most other fandoms get to experience. I mean, I can say with all 3 of our teams have never been in a situation where they're a dynasty team at that point.
I'll just say, yeah. I mean, if that's what it is, I'm just going to say shame on the NFL. If that's what it is, the NFL is despicable, and they should be better than that. This is bigger than football. people's lives were at risk. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just worry about ratings or the teams or what team the player's on. You got to give a fair and harsh punishment when people step that far out of line. And I honestly think, to me, he's young. He's a kid. He's street raced. It was stupid. It was reckless. He's lucky he didn't get killed, and he's lucky he didn't kill somebody else. But the thing that really pushes me over the line for him is he left. Like, that takes a special kind of person to walk away from something like that. And that's the part that I'm like, I would throw the book at him to a degree. Maybe not end his life or ruin his career, but I would make an example of that. Like, you don't walk away. Man up. You know what I mean? If you want to be paid like a man, you're going to act like it.
Fair enough. Oh, you know what that sound means? It's time for Snap, Tackle, and Talk Trivia. We got some questions here. I got some questions here for my two co-hosts. And tonight, it's all about the NFC East. It's time for NFC East Trivia Challenge. 1 point will go to each co-host or you in the audience watching along with us at whatever point in the future you're watching this. So get ready, grab a pen, share your scores in the comments below, and let's see who's the NFC East boss. All right, question 1. Which NFC East team has appeared in the most Super Bowls and how many?
Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys. And 12.
8.
Oh, points go to John Reed. Both had Dallas Cowboys. Colin, you entered 12. The Cowboys have 8.
Damn, John.
Congratulations, John.
I know you answered Cowboys. I thought I just gave you both the points. I was like, what the hell?
Question 2. What was the infamous play called that helped the Giants upset the undefeated Pats in Super Bowl, whatever Super Bowl number that was?
You can't read Roman numerals.
No.
Oh, immaculate reception.
Yes. Is
And
that right?
No,
I thought that was
wrong.
eight.
It was not the. It
That
wasn't the immaculate reception like the Rams or something.
I thought it was the Steelers. But
I
maybe
can't
it's
remember what it was
yeah.
called. I mean, I know. I
What? Wait, what's the Super Bowl? Hold on, pause. What is the Super Bowl? Which one?
XLII. I don't know what L is.
Hold on, wait. 42. Super Bowl 42.
yeah, I think so.
Sure.
This would be. Oh, it can't be the Philly special.
No, this is the Giants versus
The
the
Giants versus the Pats. When the Pats were undefeated and they got stopped in the Super Bowl by Eli.
I remember this. I just don't remember what it was called.
I'm gonna say Hail Mary. That's not right.
No, the answer is the helmet catch by David Tyree.
Yeah, okay.
Question number 3. Which NFC East franchise was the last to change its names, doing so in 2022 after a temporary
Commanders.
stint as
It's the
the
Commanders,
football team?
Definitely the Commanders.
Wait, what is the
The
Commanders?
Redskins. Oh my gosh. Are we doing it Jeopardy style now?
I'll give you both a point. I think y'all were both answered before I even got done with the question.
I was trying to wait politely, John, to just,
Hey, I've done this on
out.
other shows. There's no waiting.
Number 4. In what year did the Philadelphia Eagles win their first Super Bowl, and who was the MVP?
Was it 2017? And was it Nick? Oh my gosh, what is his name? Nick. Oh my gosh, what is his name?
It starts with an F.
It's Nick.
Yeah, it's not Fuentes, it's not Foley, it's
Foles. Nick Foles.
Foles, yeah.
Colin, do you have an answer?
It's Nick Foles, and it's 2017. I thought it was Foley for some reason. He's right.
And you're both wrong.
Uh-oh.
It is 2018,
Oh.
and Nick Foles was the MVP.
I thought it was 17. Damn.
Question number 5.
John, we're bad at this.
I know.
Which NFC East team holds the record for the longest streak of consecutive division titles in the division's history?
In this division?
I've got to go
In this
Cowboys,
division.
right? Oh,
In the
hold
AFC.
on.
Nah,
How many and who? What's the streak? And who?
probably the Cowboys, and I'll say 6.
In the NFC East, it's
Yes.
oh god. I want to say Cowboys, but it can't be that easy. I'm going to say New York Giants.
And how
and-
many?
6.
John said the Cowboys in 6. It is the Dallas Cowboys with 5.
I thought it'd be too
Dude.
easy.
5 straight from 92 to 96.
I thought it might have been Eli with the Giants, man. I thought they were having a shot that it was.
Well, let us know how you did in the comments below.
that
Hit
was
us
it,
up
dude.
on X or Twitter, whatever you call it nowadays, and let us know your score there as well. We will, I think, have to award the first trivia challenge to Mr. John Reed. I think he eked it out just enough. Make sure
That's what
you
she
like
said.
and subscribe for more trivia coming soon. But on to another new segment. We got the hottest hot takes in town, ladies and gentlemen. And we do have a viewer comments that I wanted to get on the air, but we are going to make this quick because we are going to dive in straight into our NFC East breakdown, which we failed to get to. The first one comes in, and I thought this one was kind of appropriate just due to what we were talking about earlier. This comes from Alina from Chicago. Jaden Daniel flops, FLOPS, all in capitals in his sophomore season with the Commanders, throwing more picks than touchdowns amid the McLaurin drama and the stadium drama. Washington regresses to 7-10 in this hot take.
Okay, I know she's from Chicago, but she's definitely a Cowboys fan. And we are talking about the most accurate rookie quarterback of all time, throwing more interceptions than touchdowns. First of all, he likely will regress because it is almost impossible to put those numbers again. That is not a hot take. What is a hot take is more interceptions than touchdowns.
Yeah.
That is an insane take for a guy that was the most accurate quarterback in football last year. That's a hell of a take. That's a hell of a take.
So, the sophomore slump's real. I mean, especially if you have a high as Jaden Daniels had. You saw it with C.J. Stroud. Granted, he had a lot of his receivers injured. But at the same time, I suppose if there was a shit ton of drama around this, stadium thing and all that, and if Terry McLaurin does not stay with the Commanders, I could see him regressing greatly. I agree with Colin, though. The more interceptions than touchdowns is just, even for the worst of quarterbacks, it's so unlikely to throw more interceptions than touchdowns, unless you just got a badass running back and you suck. I don't know. That's going to be a hard one to come through just on that point. I can definitely see the sophomore slump, especially if Scary Terry's not there. It's almost inevitable if Scary Terry's gone. But if he's there, I expect still a pretty damn good season out of the Commanders.
All right, we got Tyler from Miami. TJ Watt's massive Steelers deal is a total bust. His body's ready to break down. Pittsburgh's defense will fall outside of the top 10, and they will miss the playoffs.
I need the hot take hat on. Hold on. Actually, you know what? Take this off. That is not a hot take.
No.
TJ Watt is going to be a massive letdown in his contract. The Steelers' defense is going to regress, and the Steelers will finish 7-10 or worse this season for the first time in can't remember the guy's name now. Their coach.
Tomlin.
Tomlin. Yeah, and first time in Tomlin's history.
I mean, we've been waiting for that for a long time. It still hasn't happened. So, I mean, I've pretty much given up on hoping for that. But at the same time, I think he, in his career, has earned that money. But that still doesn't take away from the fact that he's not going to earn it coming up. He's too injury prone. He's probably going to get hurt and miss time. And he's getting older, so that's just going to increase his chance of getting injured. I do think having a better back end with Ramsey added is going to make his job a little easier, but we'll see how far that goes.
Do you know the only clip that exists of Jalen Ramsey in the Super Bowl against the Bengals? There's two of them, actually. One is him getting torched by T. Higgins on the left, and the other one is him falling down trying to cover Jamar Chase on the right.
I remember that.
That's the infamous, P-Rock.
Yeah.
That's, That's, but so my point is that he's not going to be a needle mover, especially not because they're signing him to compete against Jamar Chase and Flowers too, I'm sure. But it's no disrespect to Flowers, who's a great wide receiver, and really good kudos to you guys for bringing in somebody that finally drafting wide receiver that's decent. I mean, and he's good. He's good. He's not decent. He's good. He's very good. But Jalen Ramsey wasn't brought in to cover Zay Flowers.
That's fair. That is fair.
All right, and our last one is Deshaun from Seattle. And Colin, the fans out there must love you because I think that one and then this one's kind of tailor-made for you. The Chiefs dynasty is done. Patrick Mahomes throws a career-high 15 interceptions. Teams figure out Andy Reid's playbook finally, and they limped to a 9-8 record, but bounced in the wild card round by the Cincinnati Bengals.
That's spicy. That is very spicy.
That is. What's that?
Who's the guy's name?
Deshaun from Seattle.
Deshaun or Sean?
Deshaun.
Deshaun from Seattle, man. I got to tell you something. I always liked you, folks. Let me tell you. That is. Deshaun, you made a new friend today, brother. I got to tell you what. Because let me tell you what.
Somebody's ready for the King of Hill revival.
I'm so ready. The Chiefs Kingdom is falling down, baby. And the whatever BS it was last year that had those wins, and that, by the way, I say BS. I think there was NFLs involved a bit, but it really was on coaching. I mean, Andy Reid's just an incredible coach. Their team has not gotten better this year. They've gotten a year older and no better. The Chiefs will be a worse football team this year. Honestly, I think you're giving a lot of credit finishing 9-8. If they do, it's only because of Tomlin's situation with the Steelers. They have such a great head coach. The Chiefs will not be a good football team this year. So, not a hot take. I agree.
I disagree. I think the Chiefs are still going to be a good team. I don't think they're going to be
so good.
Listen, I don't think they're going to be world beaters. They may not even win the division. That's not spicy. That's fine. But I think there's a good chance they're going to be in the playoffs and they're going to give teams problems. And nobody's going to be shocked if they end up in the Super Bowl again. Let's be honest. I mean, I don't think anybody's ever going to figure out Andy Reid's playbook. He's too great of a coach for that. But I think Rashee Rice, even though he's going to miss time, however many games that is going to help the Chiefs. But the one big hole in this hot take is defense wins championships. So the Bengals aren't going to stop the Chiefs because they ain't got a defense. Sorry, Colin, I had to do it.
I mean, we'll let the season talk, John. We brought in Olin Burks. We drafted a good linebacker in Knight. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
It all depends on if Hendrickson comes back. I mean, I'm not even talking about Shamar.
Henderson might end up. Yeah, he might end up in a Chris Jones situation. We're missing the first week, but he's not going to play. He stands to make too much money even off the Bengals to not play. So worst comes to worst, he's going to miss the first week and say, you know what, fine. But he'll play. We'll talk about it in a couple weeks.
I don't know. Shefty said he talked to him, and he said that if you don't play, then you might not play again. And he said, then I won't play. So I don't know. He's headstrong.
Maybe that's what Mike Brown meant when he said he's emotional.
Maybe. All right, so let's get into our main event tonight. Let's break down the NFC East. We're going to start with the New York Football Giants. The Giants have rebuilt their QB room. Russell Wilson looks to be the starter. Jamison Dart on his rear end. What do y'all think? What are the Giants going to do? I mean, they drafted well. I like the direction they're going, but I mean, they're still the Giants. They're still in a huge rebuild.
All this shit on the offense is smoke and mirrors. I'm sorry. You got Malik Neighbors, good wide receiver. He'd be a lot better on another team, but I don't care. Russell Wilson, Dart, he's still a rookie. Their offensive line isn't amazing. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not amazing. And they're not going to have no push offensively to really be great, I don't think. You're going to get some great highlight plays with Russell throwing a teardrop pass, moon ball to Malik Neighbors maybe. But the real story is with the defense. Mm-hmm. I think it's a little hasty, but people are comparing this defense to the defense that they had, that great defense when Eli and them won the Super Bowl in that era. You know what I mean? And they've got names. They've got players on that defense, especially up front. Big bodies, great players. And
Dexy.
They could definitely make some noise defensively, but if you can't put points up, you're not going to win games. So we'll just have to see how that goes.
John, I disagree with your thought on their offensive side, to be honest. I don't think they have a tight end, but I'm looking at their depth right here, and their three are Darius Slayton, Malik Neighbors, and UK fans know all about Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yeah, even better if you happen to be in my hometown, Franklin County, which was where Wan'Dale's from.
Yeah.
That's not a bad wide receiver room. They have Devin Singletary, Cam Scatabo, forgot about him. Good draft pick. We'll see what But Tyrone Tracy, Cam Scatabo, Devin Singletary, top four in the wide receiver room, Neighbors, Robinson, Slayton, Lil Jordan Humphrey. It's a fine wide. It's not going to turn needles, but I don't think it's bad by any means, John.
Let me ask you this. Who would you rather take, Russell Wilson or Daniel Jones?
On the Giants or in a vacuum?
No, just in a vacuum on your whatever team.
Daniel Jones, but I think the history in New York of Daniel Jones, it's time for him to go and somebody else to come in.
So you think Russell's going to outperform him?
On a talent level, probably not, but on a statistic level, yeah, I think Russell Wilson outperformed Daniel Jones from a statistical standpoint this year. Yeah.
Well, if that happens, then they might do something. I just don't think he will. I mean, even if you bring Dart, I think Dart could be better. I definitely think Dart can be better, but as a rookie, I don't know if he's got enough to really shine. I don't know.
Well, this gets into a question we talked about before, John, where how many are any of these quarterbacks? Because it's Wilson, Winston, Dart, and Tommy DeVito in that quarterback room, and how many games are each of these guys going to play? Because Wilson will play a couple games, and he'll have a bad game, and they'll be trigger happy because they have Winston behind them, so they'll give Winston a game. And then Winston will play 2 good games and have a 4 interception game. And then the question is going to be, do they think Jackson Dart's ready, or they go back to Russell Wilson? So there's 3 quarterbacks right there. God forbid one of them gets hurt, and Tommy DeVito has to come in because they can only keep so many quarterbacks active on game day. Mm-hmm. And so my point is, they're going to be in a similar situation to like the Panthers, for example. Or we've talked about a couple teams like this so far, I think. But where they're not going to have enough consistent quarterback play to get the best out of any of these quarterbacks. And so with that being the case, John, you're right. I'd rather have Daniel Jones. But again, in a vacuum, I think Wilson's better. But they're going to have some tough quarterback play this year just because they're going to be switching between quarterbacks. I know they will be. They'll be trigger happy with 3 guys that are quality average quarterbacks. Presumably. I mean, Dart hasn't played, but they'll be trigger happy.
My whole point for all this is, things can happen. Maybe their offense will be better than I think. Maybe their defense will be worse than I think. Whatever. But my whole point is, I've looked at their schedule, and I don't see many wins. I mean, you can be hopeful, but even if you're hopeful, I mean, it's still not many wins. You're not winning the division or competing for it.
So let's look at this real quick, and I'll give you my thoughts of how the season's going to go. Russ is going to be your starter. They're going to lose to the Commanders, to the Cowboys, to the Chiefs, At that point, Russ is going to be pulled, and they're going to go with Dart. They're going to go with the rookie because that's what their future hinges on. It's not anyone else in that quarterback room. If you're not going to start Russ, you might as well be starting Dart because that's who you're looking at this point. He's going to lose to the Chargers. He's going to beat the Saints. He's going to lose to the Eagles, the Broncos, the Eagles again. He might beat the 49ers because that's at home. They're probably going to lose to the Bears, the Pack, the Lions, the Pats, the Commanders again, the Vikings. They may or may not even beat the Raiders, and they're going to lose to the Cowboys to finish the season.
When I was being nice, I gave them 3 wins when I ran through it.
I mean, you're looking 3 or 4 wins is all they're gonna get out of this. But it's going to be darts. There's no reason to have Russ on this team and go through him when you can develop a quarterback this season.
It also depends on how that. It also depends on how that offensive line looks, because if they're getting killed out there and the offensive line just getting ran through, I would keep Dart on the bench learning from Russell Wilson instead of him getting hurt in his rookie year, and just let him develop from the bench and practice. Maybe towards the end of the season, put him in a couple games.
How often do rookie quarterbacks get hurt?
I mean, if you put him behind a shitty offensive line.
Right, but I mean, New York, I think, did all the right things. I think they've played the offseason perfectly. They're one of my favorite offseason stories. I love what they did in the draft. I like where they're trending. I love a good defense. The quarterback is their weak spot, and they're trying to fill it with a quarterback who's Russ is watched. No one will ever convince me otherwise. Pittsburgh, he sucked. He sucked in Denver. He's going to suck it up for the Giants. And after Kansas City shellacks them, he's getting benched.
You know, I'm just going to put it this way. I mean, Brian Daboll, he'll lose his job if he puts Dart in there and he gets clobbered out there and he ends up pulling a Tua. And you know what I'm saying, Colin? You know, like the – you know?
Yeah. I was getting a beer at that game, John, when that happened. I heard everyone go, I turned around, he's I was like, oh no, man.
Terrible. I mean, it's scary for him. I don't even know why he's still playing in the league, but I mean, how many more is it going to take? I mean, we can talk about that because we've already passed that division. But I mean, at some point you gotta hang the hat up and go put your lay back on and get back out to Hawaii because it's not worth having permanent brain damage.
Yeah,
that's CTE.
Any other thoughts on the Giants before we move? All right, how about them Cowboys, ladies and gentlemen? They've made
Jerry Jones. Oh my gosh, Jerry Jones! It's time for him to go. Like it's just.
Oh,
you can go ahead, Dwight. Sorry.
Oh no, I was going to say they went out and got Pickens. They gave all the money you could want to Dak. They went out and got Miles Sanders, Javonte Williams, who Javonte's last time I've seen him on the field, he's a pretty broken running back at this point after that injury. The good thing the Cowboys got for him is the last 3 years they've done extremely well. They're poised to do extremely well again this year, and they can probably have a 10 or 11 game winning season and may be able to make the playoffs. I just don't think they can because of Jerry Jones.
So I'm going to go on a rant here. And tell me if you guys agree. Jerry Jones creates all this drama intentionally, I think. There's no reason. Like, for years, I mean, back to, like, Des Bryant. Like, for years, he has done this shit with the contracts. He waits till last second. There's no reason. There's no benefit for the players or the organization for him to wait so long to pay these players. Because 9 times out of 10, he's paying them more money because he waits till other players get paid. So the price just keeps going up. Today's price is not yesterday's price. He just does it because he wants the Cowboys to be in the spotlight. That's the only reason he does this drama shit, is because he wants the headlines to have the Cowboys in it. Ooh, they still haven't signed this player or that player. What are they doing? Is this player going to go? Is this player going to stay? And it's all BS. Like, just sign him. He is such a good player. He's the best player on your defense. which is broken because what's going to happen is this year is the same thing that happened last year. You're not going to be able to run the ball on anybody, and you're not going to be able to stop anybody's run game. Now you take him out of the equation, and it's going to be 10 times worse. Sign him. Give him the money he deserves, and stop playing games, Jerry Jones. I think people are starting to get sick of it. It's not cute anymore. It's just sad.
Colin?
Damn, Sean. Dallas Cowboys, man. How about them Cowboys? They have very little talent on this team. Micah Parsons is very good. Trayvon got exposed last year. He's not good. He got exposed for doing exactly what everybody knew he was doing, just selling out for a pick and leaving guys wide open. Dak's not very good anymore, but he gets paid. Their wide receiver 2 is George Pickens. Imagine a personality like George Pickens on the Cowboys. That'll go well. Their offensive line is nothing to write home about. Their defense outside of Micah Parsons is nothing to go home about. Micah Parsons and Fowler, I guess. But other than that, it's not anything to write home about. They're just not a good team, Dwight. The most interesting thing on their team to me this year would be they got Joe Milton. And I thought Joe Milton played well for the Patriots. However, Dak Prescott's going to play every week. So there's nothing interesting about this team. I think it's going to be a bad team, Dwight. I think it's going to be a bad team.
You know, honestly, Colin, and this isn't I'm not trying to make a slide against the Bengals here at all, but I feel like the Cowboys are trying to be an NFC Bengals. And the only problem is, yeah, they might have a better defense, maybe not by much, but a better defense than the Bengals, but they don't have a better quarterback, they don't have better wide receivers, and they don't have a better running back. And I feel like
why are you saying, like, what is the...
Because I think their goal is, I think in their mind, Dak's going to come out and light up people with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. And I think they're just thinking they're going to be like Joe Burrow is with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
That's not crazy. They don't have talent for that.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think that's what they think they're going to do.
CeeDee Lamb would be wide receiver 3 on the Bengals. He would.
I would say 2, but I get what you're saying. Oh, Dwight's sick of it. He must like the Cowboys because he just left us.
Teacher's gone. Let's party.
Woo. That's what I'm saying. Oh, God, he ain't got no arms. You're turning into John Cena, Colin. Oh, gosh. It actually works. You disappear when you do that.
Oh, all right. Yeah, so camera froze up. I think I could probably still have talked and y'all would have still heard me. Vegas has the Cowboys at 7.5 wins.
Hammer that under
this season. Yeah. So I think that's enough about them. Let's move on to the last 2 teams in the division. Let's go ahead and talk about the Washington Commanders. The Commanders are all in with Jaden Daniels. They traded for Samuel. They got Tunzel. They drafted Connerly Jr., They beefed up their D-line. They got Goldman and Kinlaw. They're a dynamic offense. Scary Terry, I agree with what we talked about earlier. He needs to be there. Brian Robinson Jr. is ready for a breakout. As long as all these distractions going on don't hurt Jaden Daniels, which looking at Jaden Daniels and hearing press conferences and see him interacting, this guy's cool as a cucumber. I mean, there's nothing that seems to faze him. So I think he's going to take all this pretty much with a grain of salt. I like Washington here. There has not been back-to-back division winners in a very long time in this division. I don't think Philly's going to get it done. I like Washington to win this division this year. I think they're going to be that damn good. They got Von Miller is old, but Von Miller still went out there the games he was out there last year and kicked ass. And if he stays in a whole season for Washington, when he brings that Super Bowl veteran kind of leadership to a team, this team could really go places this year. I think this is easily one of your top contenders for coming out of the NFC for the Super Bowl. I really like the Commanders.
my biggest thing with Commanders, Dwight, is their age. You mentioned on their defense, guys older than 29 starting. Von Miller, Bobby Wagner, Will Harris, Marshawn Lattimore, and Deron Payne.
And those are their best players.
And they're all 29 or older. And guys like Bobby Wagner and Von Miller are 34. I mean, man, dude, the Commanders are a very good team on paper. I really think that. I think they're a good team on paper. Assuming everybody plays, they're a good team on paper. They have a deep, deep running back room to complement Jaden Daniels between Robinson, Eckler, Rodriguez Jr. They have a decently deep wide receiver room. McLaurin, Debo, Noah Brown, Luke McCaffrey. Tight end, I thought Zach Ertz was washed up. I was wrong. He put up 700 yards for him last year.
He made a fool of me. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. And they have a very good O-line. Their defense on paper is very good, but there's nobody behind that starting 11 who are averaging almost 29 years old as a unit. They are very good on paper. They have to make sure they have to stay healthy. Which is, you can say that for every team, I understand, but genuinely they need to stay healthy because that defense could blow up in a second, worse than the Lions did last year, with a couple key injuries.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you, Colin. I think they are very reliant, again, on Scary Terry, but they're very reliant on their offense being very high caliber. The defense, I think they're just hoping, again, as you mentioned, that veteran leadership being their best players is just going to maintain a do-your-job mentality and be sure everybody's doing their job. They don't have to be amazing. They don't have to have 10 takeaways a game. They just have to do their jobs. And if they can do that and the offense can be as good as what it seems on paper it can be, then, yeah, I think Philly has a slighter, tougher schedule than the Commanders, which favors the Commanders to possibly win that division. I see your point, Dwight. It's not impossible for that. And if they do and they get a good seeding, they could definitely have a chance at the Super Bowl. They're just as good as any of these teams that in the NFC that we're thinking, hey, can go all the way. It's just, I mean, there's things that have to happen. You have to get Terry signed. And health is an issue. If you lose even one of those veterans that Colin mentioned, it's definitely going to throw a wrench in your plans on defense. Because, I mean, not only are they your best player at that position, most experienced player, but they're pretty much the only player that's going to be worth the damn at that position. And they're important positions. So, like, health is a major factor. They're going to have to keep them healthy all year on the defensive side if they want a chance, to win this division. Because the Eagles they're a juggernaut team. But like I said, their schedule is just tough enough to where it gives the Commanders a chance.
All right, so going in there, let's talk about the Fly, Eagle, Fly. Philadelphia Eagles, fresh off their Super Bowl 59 win. And guess what, folks? The Eagles are still loaded, if not more. Patullo got promoted to OC as lucky for him, Kellen Moore gets to go down and deal with the dumpster fire in New Orleans. They did lose Josh Sweat, which I think was huge. To me, Josh Sweat should have been the MVP of the Super Bowl. And they lost Darius Slay. Those are two big pieces to lose. They did get Campbell, who looks to be a draft stud. And they did add a couple of pass rushers, which I won't even pretend to remotely pronounce the name. So I'll save you all from that. Barkley coming off a record year, the best O-line in football, arguably. They are set to be, the next Kansas City Chiefs. They're set to be the next Patriots, but will they? I don't know. I don't know that they will.
You see, I don't know if I would put them in that conversation yet. I mean, obviously they've only won one Super Bowl, but I mean, I will give it. Jalen Hurts outplayed Patrick Mahomes in 2 Super Bowls now, so that's a fair thing. And Jalen Hurts, that's the good thing about him. And again, I know y'all are probably going to hate on this, but he's familiar to me. I compare him to Joe Flacco in the way that he's a high-end game manager through the season. He lets his players do the work for him. But when he gets in the playoffs and the meaningful games, Jalen Hurts gets hot, and he looks like a completely different quarterback. That's just fact. We've seen it. I highly expect the offense to be potent. The only thing that could set them back is that in the beginning, like the change of offensive coordinator, they could start slow offensively. But you got such good – I mean, the roster on paper is ridiculous still. You know what I mean? On the offensive side of the ball. I think where it comes into play that they might slide back a little on the defensive side of the ball. There's a lot of changing pieces there. And sometimes, even if the talent is somewhat comparable to who you replace with, all those changes can put you back. We're just going to have to see what happens. I think the defense might have taken half a step back, but I mean, on paper, that offense is going to be world beater. So they're still not going to lose that many games. They're going to win a good majority of their games. I mean, with the roster they have on paper, I wouldn't be shocked if they went 17-0, you know, but that's hard to do in the NFL.
I think you nailed it, John. I think this is probably the most complete team on paper in the NFL. The NFC in general is very top heavy in talent, more so than the AFC. It's been the way for years. It's not to say the best teams in the NFC can't beat the best teams in the AFC. I think we've talked about it before. It's that the best teams, the average team in the AFC is far better than the average team in the NFC. That's just, in my opinion. But the talent discrepancy is worse. And no team represents that more than the Eagles, who, in my opinion, have the only wide receiver room that is even in the same stratosphere as my Cincinnati Bengals, first of all. But A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Jahan Dotson are a really good top three. Dallas Goedert's a top tight end. Yeah, they have a great offensive line between Lane Johnson, Cam Jurgens, Mailata. And then you mentioned on the defensive side, they're great defense too. Between Azeez Ojulari, Moro Ojomo, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Jihad Campbell, who's, by the way, second in their depth chart right now. They don't even need the guy. That's Josh Uche's buried in their depth chart. I mean, they're Quinion. They are a very good team.
Yeah.
But I've seen the Eagles lay a few eggs. So we'll see. I think that they're going to be there. They're going to be there in the championship game regardless. But I've seen them lay some eggs too.
Yeah, and that's the only question in my mind. It's like they're going to lay their eggs in the regular season. That's almost inevitable, I feel like, you know, for any team. But they're going to make the playoffs. And once they get in the playoffs, they become a different animal. And it's all going to come down to that championship game. Has the team that's fought and clawed their way to get to that championship game going to have just enough to overtake them in that big moment? That's what's going to come down to. If not, then we're looking at the Eagles going back to the Super Bowl.
I think the biggest one, Saquon, is 27 years old. And of course,
yeah. I mean, we can still hear you, Dwight. So keep talking.
Okay, good. All right. So Saquon's 27. By the end of this season, he's going to be 28. Unfortunately, with running backs, there's going to be that moment to where he's great, and then the next game he comes out, he's just gone. It happens year in and year out with the running back position. When is that going to happen with Barkley?
Okay,
I think
but
yes.
I mean, A.J. Dillon behind them. It's not like they don't have guys to play behind them either. I mean, that's
true. Like, I think do you say A.J. Dillon? I think he's actually projected third in their.
He is. That's what he is. That's what I'm saying.
That's the crazy thing. Yeah, but I think if you
understand the team exists on paper, it is so stacked.
If you take Saquon out, though, I think it falls. Even with A.J. Dillon at the third, I mean, you're going to think, you know, it's such a big fall off. It's going to make a difference. But to your point, Dwight, I think certain running backs, age becomes just a number until you reach a certain point. I mean, Derrick Henry proved it last year. I mean, Colin, when we started the podcast last year, you laid into Derrick Henry. You said he was just going to be he's too old, you know, all that stuff that everybody else was saying too, you know. But, you know, if you work hard, you keep yourself in shape, diet well, which I think Saquon probably does.
And you got a quarterback that takes the heat off of you.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt Saquon having a few solid good years left. I mean, like high quality, top of the league years left in him.
All right, folks. Well, that wraps up another hard-hitting episode of Snap, Tackle, and Talk. We've dissected the NFC East, dropped brain-busting trivia, and served up hot takes spicier than a goal line stand. But before we roll out, Keep your playbooks open and your fandom fierce. In the NFL, every week's a new chance to rewrite the scoreboard. Colin?
Stay football hungry.
And get some!
All right, folks, we're out. We'll see you next week.